Hello everyone. Today I use Lurch and Fester from Ariana and Evans, and I talk about Mr. Jackie Coogan, Hollywood's first child star. Stay tuned. Hello everybody. How are you doing? History shave time. Very happy. This is my second consecutive week I kept up with it. I didn't do a Monday monologue. It is what it is. Real quick, I'll get into coffee of the day. Snickers coffee. I don't know if you remember the M&M coffee that I had that I absolutely loved. I was shocked how much I love the M&M coffee. They also had a Snickers one. This one's caramel and chocolate and just absolutely wonderful. And it's a company, where is it? White Coffee Corp, and they're based in Long Island. So there you go. They also have a Twix one, which I'm getting next. So good stuff. So let me show you the software, hardware I'm going to use today. I'm going to be shaving with Lurch and Fester. Last September at the Ariana and Evans meetup, I saw this. I was this close to getting it. I put it back in lieu of one of his new, at the time, releases, the Bergamot and Cypress. I forget the name of the line that he released that day. He unveiled it. But I decided to get this, and it also, you'll see. I was about to give something away, so don't want to do that. I do have the, where is it? Matching splash. Okay. So I have not tried Khalifa or Vanille De Tabac, or Tobacco de Vanille. I'll have to go back and see what it's called. Whoopsie. I'll have to go fix my Instagram post if it's wrong. Anyway. I haven't tried either of those. This is a combination of those two. Scent notes are resin, tobacco, vanilla, oud, coffee, incense, ginger, spice, tonka bean, cocoa, and fruit. Ginger spice. For any of those who are old enough to remember. Spice Girls. So, I've never used it. I just got it maybe 3 days ago. Oh, there's the pour. Just V2 base. Out of the jar, it smells just wonderful. So, looking forward to that. Pre-shave oil is my Rebels Refinery, and I've used that before. It has a very mild, pleasant barbershop kind of scent to it, and it fades away pretty quick, so I like the sweetness to it. I already showed you the splash and the balm. I decided to use Highland Springs Soap Co. Havana Vieja, and this is one of my favorites, if not the favorite, tobacco leaf balm that I have. Okay, not tobacco flower. My favorite tobacco flower is Moon Soaps. But favorite tobacco leaf, I think that's it. Hardware, I'm using my Cobble Hill Farm, I don't know what to call it, Treat Falcon Blade. This is the one I'm still pushing. I don't want to call this ebony and ivory. It's too generic for me. I don't know what to call it. I think I called it something before. What this honestly reminds me of is a ivory kind of mother of pearl revolver that I shot one time when I was younger, and it was black and it had that mother of pearl ivory, just beautiful, with the copper inlay here. It reminds me of that, but I'm very hesitant to mention anything involving firearms on social media, as we all know. So just the pretty black and white razor, we'll call that for now. Okay. And I do have a House of Mammoth package that came today. If I have time, I'll do an unboxing, which I doubt. 3.5 minutes, not bad. All right. If I can get to that, I'll get to it. That's my first House of Mammoth set that I've ever purchased. And real quick, one of my wife's hairs in my shirt. It's been tickling the crap out of me. Didn't want to pause the video. And also, real quick, for those who don't know, my infant son spilled a soda on my phone. And it was this phone. All right, decorated with my daughter's hearts. But this phone for the last, doesn't look like it's hurt, but it is. He killed it. Last 4.5 years, all the videos, shave of the days, anything I've posted, anywhere, online, period, for the last 4.5 years was with this phone. So it's like I lost a dear friend. But I got a brand new one, and this one specifically made with camera and video and all that in mind. It's the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. This thing's beautiful. I'm in love with this phone. So anyway, let's get the shave going. Today's topic, and you saw the thumbnail there, is that little boy. His name's Jackie Coogan. Some of you may already know this. My friend Bradley sent me this topic. Thank you, Bradley. You know what I'm going to do to save time? I already showed you the soap. I showed you the pour. I'm going to go ahead and lather off camera this time, okay? I'm not going to lather in real time, even though it's my favorite thing. And then I'll come back and I'll start the shave. Give me 1 second, okay? Okay, I take it back. I got 3 pages of stuff to get through. I forgot to mention, too, I'm using my Teton Shaves 30 millimeter big boy. So I was going to grab my Elvato grooming bowl. I figured it'd be a little too small for this large brush. So I'm using my Captain's Choice heavyweight copper. Okay. Jackie Coogan, the first child star. So Jackie was born John Leslie Coogan in 1914. And he was born in Los Angeles. All right. As an infant, he would begin acting as an infant. He would begin acting in vaudeville and film. Okay. In 1917, he actually had his title role in a movie. And it was called Skinner's Baby, is the name of the movie. And that is Jackie Coogan right there. Okay. So right towards the end of, it's smack in the middle of World War I. Almost in the middle, a little past it, ended 1918. But you know what I mean. He was in movies. So already I'm interested. Coogan's father and younger brother were also actors. His younger brother was named Robert. I didn't want to get too much into him because this is not about him. So I'm making a mess with my soap here. And y'all know I hate making a mess with my soap. If I start taking too long with the lathering, I'll pause again. I really like lathering in real time anyways, to be honest. Just because you guys get to see it build up. And it's something I really enjoy doing when I'm doing a review. So you guys can see it in real time. So shortly after that movie, Skinner's Baby, Coogan was doing the shimmy, which was a popular dance at the time, in the Orpheum Theater on stage. Now, I got excited because there is an Orpheum Theater here in Boston. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So I thought he was here in Boston. He was not. The Orpheum Theater is located in, I believe, Los Angeles. So, oh well. On that day, he would be discovered at the Orpheum Theater by none other than a Mr. Charlie Chaplin. So we're already going here, aren't we? And I mentioned my buddy Bradley gave me this topic. He sends me, he knows I'm a history guy, he sends me a lot of interesting stuff, but this one was just too good for me to... He'll send it to me either way for a topic or idea or whatever, but he knows I enjoy it either way. So thank you, Bradley, for this. I appreciate it. He's been a long-time supporter of what I do in my channel and stuff, so appreciate it, bud. Discovered Charlie Chaplin. Coogan instantly delighted Chaplin. His ability to mimic was unparalleled. So he was able to mimic, I would imagine, mannerisms and things of that nature. And, keep in mind, this is the silent era. So I personally would have loved, I need to go watch some silent movies. I've only seen one in my entire life, and it was when I was younger and I didn't appreciate it. But imagine the era of silent movies. Acting solely is the thing that got you famous and made money. There was no special effects, no cussing, no nudity, no nothing. Not even talking. You had to convey the story through acting alone. That is incredible to me. Oh my gosh, that's good. So, I'm going to thicken this up a little bit. It's something, I'd say it's a lost art, but it kind of is, and a lot of people still appreciate it. Younger people, no, but the people in the craft, you know. Obviously, Chaplin's one of the greats. That's a story in its own, on its own, right there is Charlie Chaplin. That man was incredible, not just as an actor, but as a person. Anywho, supposed to be a hell of a guy. So Coogan delighted Chaplin. He was given a small role, Coogan was, in a movie in 1919 to see how he fared in show business. Needless to say, he did well. Now there is a nice twist to this story at the end, towards the end of the video, okay? And you guys will like it. So bear with me. Teensy bit more water. Get that lather right where I want it. Here we go. He did so well that in 1920, he was cast in a remarkable Chaplin movie called The Kid. And y'all might know that one. That's one of the most famous Charlie Chaplin movies ever. There's a photo of Mr. Chaplin and Jackie Coogan. That's a still shot from the movie, The Kid. Now, Chaplin is most well known for his character of the Tramp, which was what they called homeless people back in the day. And in this movie, he discovers a little boy, a homeless little boy, and starts taking care of him. And that's the premise of the movie. And I believe the movie is actually considered a drama, not a comedy. So I'm sure there's funny parts in it, but it was very well received, okay? The fame resulting from The Kid immediately made Coogan a household and international name. So he became world famous from this movie. As a boy, as a little kid. Okay? Time to shave. As such, it is widely accepted that Jackie Coogan is Hollywood's first child star. Because that had never happened before. Certainly there had been, you know, it's Chaplin. There had been plenty of adults who were household names. Charlie Chaplin, Fatty Arbuckle. Never happened to a kid before. Not until Jackie Coogan. All right, give me a second. He was also among the first to be involved with heavy merchandising. Now, this was cool. I kind of paused while I was doing notes, and I looked into this a little bit. Not because of the merchandising part per se, but because of what I found that bore his likeness on it, okay? So the merchandising including whistles, dolls, coins, and even peanut butter. That is Jackie Coogan peanut butter. Look at the peanut butter jar. Isn't that cool? Like that's just, I love that. I wonder if those, I'm sure somewhere you could go and find a old, you know, antique peanut butter jar like that. That's just so cool. So once I saw that, I'm like, what else? And it wasn't even necessarily merchandise with Jackie Coogan on it, just the stuff that existed back then. It was so cool to me. So I kind of got a little lost in the weeds looking that stuff up. So Brooke Hart. Now this is going to be, might be a history shave in its own right, because Brooke Hart made headlines back in the day. I did forget to look up the department store, but Brooke Hart, who was Coogan's close friend, and I think they went to school together. He was an heir to a successful business. I forget the name of the business. I'm assuming it's Hart's department store. Was kidnapped in November of 1933. Okay. Now he was kidnapped by two men. I didn't write their names down. I didn't think it was really important. Plus, like I said, I might do a history shave on that itself, so I didn't want to give too much away. Or even better, if you guys are curious, you should go look it up. Was kidnapped November 1933. Flip it over. The kidnappers were caught and admitted that they had murdered Hart that very day, the day he was kidnapped. The same day, and they would go on to several times demand $40,000 in ransom money from the family, the Hart family, even though they had killed him that day. So they kidnapped him, did away with him, pretended they had him, and demanded money. And I would imagine Mr. Hart probably fought back, was more trouble than he was worth, so they just, which is really sad. So this gets a little dark, but I thought it was too important to pass up mentioning because it helped mold Coogan into who he would become. Pardon me if you hear my stomach grumbling. My son is napping, as always. And rather than eat, I decided to do this real quick, then I'll eat. Just so I at least get the video, because then I can eat and do the editing later. So after being placed in a San Jose jail, the two kidnappers and murderers, a mob broke in and hanged the killers from a tree. So lynched them, straight vigilante justice, broke in the jail. And they did this with the not the consent of the governor, but the governor just clearly did not care that they were doing this. He let it happen. In fact, he would go on to pardon the lynch mob after the fact. But they hanged him from a tree, lynched them, hanged him from a tree. And it was said that Jackie Coogan was one of the men holding the ropes while this was occurring, which I'm inclined to believe because it was his best friend. And as you'll see, he would have a very small number of people that he would consider trustworthy friends. Okay? But it says a lot of how he felt for someone he would consider a friend. By the way, that's the headline after the fact. Those are the two killers. All right? And this is right after it happened. And you can see right there that the governor's going to pardon him, which he did. So in May 1935, Coogan was the lone survivor of a car accident that killed his father, his best friend, his other best friend, a ranch foreman, and a movie writer. He was the only one that survived. Okay, I think he was 20 years old by then, 35. Born 1914, yeah, something like that, 20 years old. As a child, Coogan had earned about $3 to $4 million then, which is the equivalent of 44 to 59 million in the year 2021. More now, a lot more by now. Won't get into that. His father had managed his fortune for him. It was put into a trust that he was supposed to inherit and get hands on when he turned 21 years old. So his father was looking out for him. However, his father died in the car accident. Now, when he was 20, so I was right, he was 20 years old. He turned 21 5 months after his father died in this accident. Okay? And he discovered that his own mother and his stepfather had squandered almost all of his money. That's Coogan with his late father and his piece of work mother, I'll say that. And she spent the money on furs, jewels, cars, the usual. Go throughout history, human nature does not change. The only thing that changes is what you bought with the greed you had. And that, unfortunately, is something that still happens today. Where these parents just, under the guise of having their kids' best interests in mind, see dollar signs and just, it's horrible. But that's what happened to him. But this is where things get really, really badass, okay? In 1938, he sued both his own mother and his stepfather. He won He won the lawsuit. From what I read, there really weren't many people that disagreed with them. And the mother would say during the trials, like, no one, she literally said something along the lines of, like, no one ever told him he was owed anything, even though he was doing the work for the money. So that shows you just the kind of person she was. Okay. Where was I? He won, but after the court costs, he received only $126,000 of the $250,000 of his money that was left over that his mother had not squandered. So really, it was not for naught, but it kind of was, because he would eventually go broke, Coogan, later on. But during the time he was going through all this, because he didn't have the money, he had to fight to get the money. So these court costs, most of them I think came for if they won, but he had to pay while this was going on. And one person he went to was Charlie Chaplin. He went to him and asked him for help. Chaplin would immediately take out $1,000 and hand it to him on the spot without question. There's a photo of Chaplin and Coogan when Coogan was older as a teenager. I'm not sure the age Coogan was in this photo, but they would remain friends for life, okay? They remain close. The best result of the lawsuit came about in 1939, when California passed the Child Actors Bill, aka the Coogan Act, which it is now mostly more well known as, to protect other child stars. So that's how substantial and how really landslide this victory was for him. It was not only did they say, yeah, you deserve this, they put legislation in play so this would never happen to another child star again. One sec, I need some more water. I'm gonna go ahead and use what's here on my face already for touch-ups. I got plenty in my beard and on my brush to spread around. I don't need a ton. I haven't even talked about the scent yet, have I? One line left on this page. Part of the act included at least 15% of earnings. So the parents had to, by law, take at least 15% of the child star's earnings and put it in a trust where no one can touch it but the child star when they come of age. They also specified school and time off and total work hours, because these kids were being, almost sweatshop worked for the Hollywood machine, and they had nothing in place to protect them while this was happening. Imagine being 6 years old and working a 15-hour day. Then you complain because you're tired. What's the matter, son? Don't you want to be a star? Something like that was a terrible impression, but oh, you know what I mean. So, scent is great. I would imagine most of the tobacco and all that's from Vanille De Tabac or Tabac de Vanille. I'll have to seriously go and see what the hell it's called. It's not on the jar. Oh well. But the scent, I like it a lot. Because wasn't there patchouli in this? I think there was. Maybe not. The coffee's not overpowering. That's what I like. Tobacco's great. The vanilla's great. The oud is really good. And the spice and stuff. So it's a good mix. I like it a lot. Very good. All right. What do I got for touch-ups? I'm getting distracted here. Windstorm, right? Yeah. So it is Thursday, History Shave Day. I will be going to the meetup this coming Saturday, May 4th. So I'm excited. I'm going to bring some saltwater taffy. This is the Cape after all. I was thinking of going to the Cape Cod chip factory, which we do have, the factory for Cape Cod chips. And at this factory, they sell flavors of chips, or at least they did, that you can only buy at the factory in the lobby at the end of the tour. And a lot of stuff changed because of COVID, and I haven't been back since, so I don't know if they do that anymore. So, saltwater taffy it is. My buddy Darren gave me that idea. Thank you, Darren, who will also be there. So, sorry, I got soap on my fingers. All right. I'm going to do rinse off, post shave, and I'll finish this story, all right? Be right back. All right. Man, that V2 is nice. You know, said I need to use again is baklava, which was the soap Peter did for the meetup last year. Very excited. This will only be my second meetup. The first one was also the one from last September, if y'all remember. But very excited. It's very low key, very personable, not crazy, which I really enjoyed that. So, all right. Coogan served in World War II. He enlisted in March 1941 and transferred to the Army Air Forces after Pearl Harbor was attacked. So he was already in, and he made it a point to go, like many, many, many young men and women, most of the young men did back in the day after Pearl Harbor. Oh, man. Peter, you just are a wizard with the scents, dude. I'd wear this as an EDT. Oh my gosh, that's good. Oh, more oud vanilla. More spice. Yeah, that's good. Tonka tobacco, I love it. All right. Okay, sorry. Damn, that smelled good. So after the war, he would also assist with getting British troops behind Japanese lines during Burma in 1944. So he was in the thick of it. So after the war, he would return to acting in 1952. He had several character roles in movies and television. This included The Brothers Brannigan, The Americans, and, believe it or not, The Andy Griffith Show, which I did not know that. He wasn't a regular. He guest spotted on it a few times, though. But here's where I told you guys to stick around because I had a surprise for you. This is the bomb. It was in 1964 that Jackie Coogan was cast in the most famous TV role of his entire career. Would you like to know his most famous role? That one. Uncle Fester. That's Jackie Coogan. For those who didn't know that. So, undeniably, aside from the kid, this would be the most famous role that Jackie ever undertook. Was Uncle Fester. Surprise. He would play Fester from, I believe it was 64 to 66. The Addams Family wasn't on that long, surprisingly. But, you know, you look at the market left. I believe it was 64 to 66. I forgot to write it here. Had to throw that in. That was my favorite photo of him. And if you look at that photo, and then I think of the Addams Family I grew up with, where Christopher Lloyd played Fester, I see the resemblance with that photo. So that's why I picked that one. Jackie Coogan died of heart failure on March 1st, 1984, after several years of heart ailments and hypertension. At his funeral, it would be none other than John Astin, who played Gomez in the Addams Family, the original one, who would read his eulogy. So he had a legacy. He has a legacy. The Coogan act still exists to this day. Okay? As does his legacy. His grandson is actor Keith Coogan. Now, this was cool because I didn't know this. He changed his name to Keith Coogan after his grandfather died. There's a photo of him. I'm not going to put it on here. It's a little too personable, I think, for me to include here. For them. But there's a photo of him in 1982 with his grandfather, with Jackie. After he passed away in 1984, Keith would change his last name to Coogan. Okay? And Keith Coogan is badass because I grew up with both of these movies. Played the oldest brother in both Adventures in Babysitting. Boom. And he played the oldest brother in one of my favorite movies to this day, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. He played Kenny, the stoner. That is Jackie Coogan's grandson. How about that, huh? So, there you go. Hope you all enjoyed that. I'm right at the 30-minute mark, so I'm not going to do the unboxing. I don't think, should I? Nah, I won't do it. You know what? I'll do a separate video for the unboxing. I'll do that whenever because it's not open yet. So, not open. I'll do that later. So, oh well. I still did pretty good though, considering. And that'll do it. I hope y'all enjoyed this one. I had a lot of fun looking this one up. Thank you again, Bradley. That was a great one. I need to look into more of this stuff. I need to start writing down things that I notice while I'm researching a history shave. That also interested me, if that makes sense. Like it branches out, like I say. Because there's a few of them I still need to do, and I've forgotten half of them, I'm sure. Because I just said, it's interesting. I need to do that one. But anyhow, now I'm rambling. Thank you for watching. If you're a returning viewer, I really appreciate y'all's support. You guys are awesome about this. Oh, forgot one thing. Something I usually don't do. I'm going to have a cologne. And this is Stetson Legend. I just got this. Jess bought it for me. And it has upcycled cedar wood. Don't know what that is. Upcycled anyways. Vetiver and wild desert sage. However, there's oud in this. And that oud is what I like. That I think would pair very well with this. So it's not overly sweet. I like the sage and the cedar wood because it goes well with the sweetness of everything else. So, oh, that smells so good. All right. Anyway, thank you. If you're new, I do these usually every Thursday. I'm going to try to do that again. I've had a lot of stuff going on. Every Monday, I do a Monday monologue where I just use a set and I just talk about whatever I want. So these don't go too long, which it already is. So thank you. Consider liking, subscribing if you want, even share it, which helps me tremendously. You know, the old analytics and all that. That'll do it. Thank you. Take care. I will more than likely, I don't know if I'll be doing a live or anything, but I'll definitely be taking pictures at the meetup this Saturday. And yeah, till next time, thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the support. Be safe. Take care of one another. And most important, happy shaving. See you later.